Hi guys.
How are
How's
you?
it going?
Fine, and you?
Very, very well.
Lowlands Festival?
It's our first time doing it in 2 years, so.
Yeah, it's great to be back. You know, we haven't been in Holland in a while, but we just announced the European tour, so we'll be coming back very soon.
Well, you've released your new album this February, coming up for air. It's been half a year now. What are your thoughts on that album now? You've had some time to take a distance from it.
Well, we toured around the world. We were very nervous about it, but the reaction's been incredible. Like, everywhere we've gone to places we've never been to before. We went to Singapore, played to like 4,000 people. It was sold out, and they sang back every word. But when we made this album, we made a conscious decision that we didn't want to make the same album again, and we wanted to kind of just experiment a little more. And we worked with Garret Lee as well, a new producer. So.
And why did you pick him?
Just because we're big Snow Patrol fans, and he worked with Snow Patrol. We're big U2 fans. He's worked with U2. We're big Irish fans because they're both Irish bands, and we're Irish, and Irish people are awesome.
you don't really turn down the opportunity when you get to work with someone at that level, you know?
Yeah.
So we went in just kind of trying stuff out with him, and we didn't even realise we were doing album tracks at that time.
Yeah. It was more just kind of, time off between touring. Do you want to go work with Garret Lee? And we're like, yes.
And what did he bring to you in hindsight? What did he do to your?
I think what he really did for us was just introduce us to new sounds. Like the last album was done very much just with an acoustic and a piano, and then we build everything around it. With Jackknife, he's all about
energy more.
I don't know if he's about energy. I think for us anyway, he's more about just sounds as opposed to.
Yeah,
our way.
but like the way we usually do it, we have a song and it goes from start to finish, and that's the thing. But when we were working with Jackknife, we kind of had a verse and had a bit, and we put those bits in and then kind of made the rest of the song to fit around it, which is a different way of working for us. It's not something we've ever done before, and it took us quite a while to get into it, but we went away from that session and did one of our most productive sessions ourselves with the people that we worked with before. So I don't know, he didn't change what we do, he just showed us another way to do what it is that we do when we're in the studio.
And well, you've toured a lot. Did that influence your songwriting too?
Yeah, well, we never stopped writing. So like the whole time we were touring, we were in new cities, meeting new people, you know, so yeah, probably subconsciously.
Oh, it could be maybe that playing live gives maybe another dynamic.
Yeah, no, you do.
Songs and.
Oh yeah, well I mean, we played so many gigs and we're better musicians now, you know, and we're a better band because we played so much together and we can read each other more. But I think that really stood to us.
I think a lot of after that first album, we'd played those songs in so many different rooms that you know where they can go and how you know what they feel like once you get up to it. And when we're doing this album, because we're able to play it together in the room a bit more, you know, you can push it just that little bit further, you know, by actually just feeding off each other, you know, where you want to get the energy. And it's just knowing how big those rooms were, you know, it was quite a different aspect, because being such a studio band on the first record, the songs were complete, just everything. And you could just aim for the scale of the rooms a bit more when you've been out there for that long, you know, and there's a lot more energy to be captured from the live thing that I don't think we've even gotten close to trying to capture what it is we do live, because it's such a different thing when we go on the road and play those songs. They just get a life of their own.
We're very much a live band now. It's all about the live shows. But yeah.
But you said the songs they get a life of on their own. Do you have an example of a song that really will make that transition?
You know, like there's some nights that we play a song called One Day, and I think it's one of the only songs that we've actually like re-recorded just based off what happens when we play it live. Like the first way it was kind of full on the whole way through with a rhythm, and we played it on that first tour and the crowd just sang it back so loud that we couldn't even hear the click track that was in our ears. We couldn't, like, you know, you had to do it because the crowd was singing louder than the band were. So you know, now the way that we play it is we let the crowd sing the whole first half of it, and that stuff is even happening on songs like Lost off the new album in certain venues, and it's incredible to hear.
The album title, when during the recording of the album did you decide upon this album title?
I think halfway through we always come up with a title last. I think I just said Coming Up for Air because we hadn't taken a break. Like we went from like playing gigs to like 5 people to all of a sudden playing gigs to like 15,000 or whatever, a couple of thousand people, and we just kept going. And then all of a sudden we were back in the studio after 2 years of touring, and then it's like, okay, let's just try and take it all in and take a breath, you know, and just, this is kind of cool.
Was it hard? I mean, working that hard and then constantly touring and then recording an album again?
I mean, when we think of, like, sometimes we spend most of our time waiting around in airports. You know, airport security is a nightmare. Packing is another thing that I'm terrible at and I haven't gotten quite good at.
You get very good at leaving quickly.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
But for all the downsides, we know how lucky we are, and there's so many bands out there that are trying to even just get a gig in their local fucking venue. So let alone release a song or release an album or tour the world. So we're very, very lucky, and we're very aware of that.
And what did it do to the 4 of you? I mean, your personal relationships, because, well, it's been sometimes people get bored of each other or even get angry with each other after 2 or 3 years constantly touring.
I haven't talked to Jay in 2 years. This is the first time I've talked to him.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I'm talking to Jay. Tell Jay to move over a little bit. He's a little bit too close.
I think he is. I think we still have.
No, it's been an amazing journey, and you know, as Steve said, we are so grateful. And going through something like that with your friends is something you'll just never ever replicate. There's nothing like it, and I don't think we'll ever get bored of it. You know, when we get a chance to go back into the studio, for us it's a break, because that's what we love doing, and it's still what we love doing. When we go on tour, it's an exciting, it's almost a holiday. So no part of it really feels like work yet, and I think as long as that's the way it feels, we can keep going for as long as possible.
I think, yeah, we are very, very fortunate. We're very lucky, you know. So as long as people come to our shows, as they are now, and as long as people keep listening to our music, we'll just keep writing music and keep playing, and we'll do it for as long as we can, you know. But it is a very fickle industry, and bands do come and go. So let's just hope that
we don't go
anywhere. People keep liking what we're doing.
Do you think about this? That maybe, well, we have to keep writing music that people like, or?
I went through like a short phase of thinking like that.
When?
Before the second album, I was kind of like, pretty much straight away after we finished the first album, I was like, oh, we need to write this, but I mean, just we write what we feel, you know. Songwriting is quite a selfish thing. I write songs for myself, you know, and if people like them, that's great, you know.
When you went through this phase, were the songs good? Songs that you wrote?
They weren't bad. Like, well, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's very opinionated. I didn't like them, but I wrote them myself. Other people would say they're good, yeah, but someone else might say they're bad.
What was lacking?
For me personally, I think just emotion. You know, you have to kind of give a bit of yourself in a song. Like, that's just, I think it comes across, and I don't think you can fake it really, unless you have an amazing producer.
Were you actually aware he was going through this phase?
Well, yeah, we spend so much time around each other. You do. We all chatted about it, but it's not so much, you know, where the songs are going. You can feel it even when the song is finished. You know, it's something that we all feel. We have a very strong filter, and nothing gets to the end of it if we don't all believe in it. And it's hard to believe in something that someone who's singing it doesn't. So I don't think anything made it through the net.
What was the first song you wrote when you were out of this phase?
A song called Unclear, that's on the second album. Yeah, that was it.
Can you describe how this song came about? How come you actually went out of this phase and then you came up with this song? What triggered it?
It's just like the future is, you know, I was thinking, oh, you have to do this and you have to try and impress, you know, like people, just, you know, write songs to impress people as opposed to impressing yourself. And then it was just like, there's a line and it's like, when the future's so unclear, you know, and it's just about being uncertain but just carrying on anyway. And yeah, I was just in the house with my mate having a few beers and I was strumming away on a guitar and then he goes, "What's that? You should record that." And he's not even a musician. He doesn't have a music bone in his body. But then I went up and I just recorded it in my house and that was it. And then it was like the day before we went into the studio.
But did you know that this was the starting point then? That you were actually out of that phase of trying to impress other people?
Yeah, well, to an extent, yeah. You know, songwriting is like, it's a strange thing. Like, I mean, we did a thing on tour where it was like, you know, pick a song title and then just write a song, just as a kind of for fun, you know. And those songs we can do that, and like they'll be good songs, you know, but they might not have the kind of emotional depth of a song that has a part of us in it, or part, like for me as a singer, you know, I mean, our best songs for me anyway are the ones that like has a part of me in it, you know. But I don't know, we write so many songs, not every song is gonna have a part of me in it.
do you always know what he is singing about? What?
I think lyrics are very kind of open to anyone's kind of interpretation.
Well, sometimes you actually know what he means when he writes it, but of course you have your own interpretation.
Everyone's version of it is slightly different, isn't it? So it's very hard to know.
Well, you said you've been busy for 2 or 3 years. Are there some small personal highlights that you had?
Well, you know, we keep hitting them. You know, we were on stage with Ed Sheeran in Croke Park, which is Ireland's biggest venue, and that's 80,000 people, and they were all singing back "All I Want," which is our first song, and it's like when you realise that that's the arc we've come in, and we've been out of Ireland for so long, and just to come home and do that, it was one of the most incredible feelings I think we'll ever have, you know. But just the fact that we're still doing it, we're so just happy to be out in the road. We love it, and we'll keep doing it as long as we can. You know, I think the highlights keep coming. Every year that we can say we're doing this festival, and this festival, they're going to be the best festivals of the weekend, you know.
Do you have personal highlight? Last question.
Probably the same. I mean, we've played a lot of gigs ourselves. We played big gigs in Dublin. We played American tours that were amazing. But that moment, Ed Sheeran invited us as special guests in this stadium, and we didn't really know how the crowd would react because we'd never played to a crowd that big, but they sang every single word. And then Ed turned around after and he goes, he's never heard a crowd sing a song that loud before, which was phenomenal.
That was magic.
It was amazing. And then Jay proposed to his girlfriend, his now fiance, on stage, which was kept a secret from us as well.
Did you know?
I knew after the first night. Once we came off stage the first night, I had it in my head, and I went out and got the ring that morning. So I kind of knew. Once we came off stage, I was like, yeah, this feels like the right place to do it.
It's very funny. Like before the show, I was rehearsing songs with Ed, and I was like, yeah, we do this song, and then we'll do this song. And Glenn Hansford was there as well. He's an Irish singer, he's amazing. And I was like, yeah, we do this song, and then we go into this song, and then Jay proposes, and then we go into this song, and we were like, wait, what? Jay proposes? He didn't even tell us. You know.
Why not tell them?
Well, you know, you have to keep the surprise for as long as possible, especially in something that big.
So when is your wedding day?
Oh, a while away. I'd say 2 years.
Yeah, we'll be touring probably though.
Yeah, we'll be touring until then.
But they will know.
Oh, we'll know in advance. Yeah, there'll be plenty of planning.
Yeah, don't keep it a secret.
Not this time.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you very
Pleasure.
much.
Pleasure.
Thanks again. Thank you very much. Thank you.